Click. Okay, this is the last rib. I think there's 13. I don't remember. After this, I'll be able to take the whole thing out of the jig and everything. See what we got. So right now, barely missed it. There we go. So when you're putting new ribs on, this piece is there, but we don't have it with these old ribs, so we have to have a little substitute here. And we're ready. That looks about right. Right there. Right there. Good. Just right. Probably do this one by hand because it's so small. Maybe not. We'll set the main one here. It's a lot faster. Oops. Got to set them by hand because you just got to be able to feel it. Besides, if need be, I can put more pressure where it's needed. These wrinkly old soundboards, you know. We can straighten them out with this. It's pretty stiff. And there's the last one. Feel it. Each one feels good. Tight. Same amount. Takes quite a bit of pressure, it seems. Those are pretty tight. There we have it. All we got to do is wash the glue off, take our guides away. All done. Okay, we just finished pressing the last rib here. This is what it looks like after all the blankets are off. And we have these little stays here to hold it down. Our temperature went down. This temperature here was held pretty steady, about 130, 140 for the duration of this pressing here. So now I'm going to wash the glue off. That's the fun part. And the humidity went up too. I keep this piece of junk under here, see how it moves around when you tap it. But anyways, this needle was down here about 5%. And when it's down there for 3, 4, 5 hours, then you can glue a rib on. You can glue 2 on, 3 on, and sometimes 4 on in a day. So here we have it, and it's still pretty much dry as a bone. It's going to swell up a little bit. So, okay, 13 ribs. Here's the soundboard, Chickering, after washed off the glue. Ribs are all on now, and it's got a crown, that's for sure. It's still dry as a bone. What I want to look at is this crossbar here and how it fits here. I just placed it there, it's not glued in, and just makes you wonder. Fits well though. That's testimony. The location of the soundboard ribbing goes right back in. These notches, which were pretty crude. They got a lot of cut marks on them, but it still fits very well once you get it in the right place. Anyway, it wiggles down. Anyways, there we have it. So that gets glued on, well, maybe next. Probably put the bridges on first. What is this stuff? That's amber. And here it is in a solution. A saturated solution. So much so that it no longer can be dissolved because there's so much in there. Anyways, that's what this stuff is, and that's not what we're talking about. This is what I'm talking about here, the pin block for this Chickering, and how we're making it. This is the top layer of the pin block. These are rock maple. They weren't actually quarter sawn though, to my surprise. And this is where we're getting our material from, the side of an old Steinway upright right there. Turn of the century, I suppose, or maybe even older, 1890s. This is all that's left to one of the sides. This is the left side, this is the right side. And I took the wood from there and put it here. And this is why. Oh boy, that grain. Very clear, very uniform, very, very, very hard. Sugar maple. And this is where these go. They go over here. And this goes here. This was a cross banding on top of this layer here. The finish, you can see the gold there where the plate was. And they actually painted this gold paint after or before they drilled the holes. Which one do you think? Probably before they drilled the holes. But I could not find any evidence of any of that gold stuff in these holes. Okay, anyways, this is easy. We have maple veneer for this. This was the hard part, trying to find wood to do this. And in one of the earlier videos I explained that this piece, they didn't go out of their way to make this quarter sawn, and they should have. So we will this time. The pieces what we're cutting out of that side over there and laying them there, that's what we're going to make this out of. That glues on top of here. And this big piece glues on this base. They had all these pretty big pieces of wood glued together here. But what mystifies me is, why didn't they crossband this? Why didn't they run this grain this way and the top one this way? Is a mystery. Crossbanding and plywood like that does make things stronger. And anyways, that's what we're doing. It's my favorite part. Doing it a very thin coat just to protect everything while we do everything else. Wow, nice wood. Beautiful stuff. That's a disaster waiting to happen. I better put some more over here. There we go. Put that over there. This is just straight shellac and alcohol. Just to quickly make it a little dirt proof, of course. Doesn't affect the glue joints. Of course, if you put too much, it would. But this isn't too much. My, oh my, the color of this wood is just out of this world. And this first coat too, we want to make sure we jam it in the corners here, get it everywhere here, especially in here. So it soaks in. There we go. Best way. Just let it soak right in there. Look how it disappears. Of course, the alcohol is evaporating pretty quickly too. Very quickly. You know, all those old recipes, some of them, back in the late 1800s, they tell you to mix this stuff with spirits of wine. Yeah, well, you have to decipher what that means. Must have been some pretty strong wine. Because it takes a certain strength of alcohol to cut this shellac. You just can't put it in isopropyl. It just won't work. It has to be high proof. Uh-oh. Must have got some black on my glove here. Better stop. See that? This here. It was on the jar there. That's not good. We'll keep going. Only one little spot. I'll be able to get that after. See that black that came out of that That came off my glove. Very bad. But we'll keep going here. Try not to get that in there too deep. The little black shellac I had from the job before. Nice golden brown wood. I'm going to do something to patch these holes a little bit, I think. For cosmetic reasons. I'm not going to put the screws back in, that's for sure. There. All done. Chickering 33B. Here we go. Still in the press, and I'm going to take it out today, and that's what we're going to do. We're going to dismantle this press. It takes about 2 minutes to stand all these steel bars up against the wall over there, and that's where the press stays until we need it again. And let's take a look at the crown here, and it's taking on some moisture now that the heat is off. You can see there. Whoop, maybe not so good, but look at that nice round. It's got rounder in the past day, since yesterday. And we gave it a couple coats of just wash coats of shellac, see it shines a little bit, and keep the dirt off. The next time we polish this, it'll be good. But we got to put the bridges on now. No bridges yet. And I'm going to take your attention here just for a moment. This rib, how small it is. Same thing almost, and then it jumps real fast. 1, 2, third rib up here. Look at how much wider it is than this one. It's thicker and wider and stronger. And then this one over here, it's not as thick and wide as strong. And then over here they get consistently wider and stronger, about the same as we go down. But I found that odd. Never saw that before. Usually these are gradual, but this one here is definitely bigger. You can see it in that zone, the transition between the bass and the treble in this area has always been very difficult to get a smooth transition. Okay, oh yeah, we gotta fit it into the case now and glue this cutoff bar here on. Here we go. Chickering again. We gave a couple of coats of thin shellac to the back, and now we're getting ready to glue this on. This bar here, because this is caught to the frame and the middle is not. I'm surprised. This whole thing is floating. Well, not floating. It doesn't touch the frame. So we're going to make this ready now and glue it on. Chickering again, and we're going to glue the bridge on, the long bridge here. And I'm warming it up, getting it ready. It's quite the large glue job when you're doing hot hide glue. Grab a bottle of plastic glue is a lot easier, but it has no place here. No way. It's like everything else today. Plastic. Chickering soundboard again. Putting a finish on here. Of course, we taped off the areas that we don't want to put finish on, and now it's time to put the buttons on, and there's a lot of them on this one. Here they are here. I think there's 15 of them, and we're going to clean these up, put them right back on. I don't know about that one, busted, maybe. Might be able to put it back together. A little super glue. Push it back together like that for a few minutes and probably be good. Anyways, that's what we're going to do now. I just reattached this piece here up to this spot. This thing. It was broken off. And just glued it back on here. I put the finish back. So, here we have it. Button time. Here are the buttons for this Chickering. And the screws. They were all rusty. And the buttons come out nice. We had to super glue one or two together, this one here, put it back together. And now I'm going to give it a little shellac on these buttons here. I have to hold the camera at the same time. It's difficult, so I'm going to put it down. But see how they look nice when they give them a coat. Coat them up good before we glue them to the soundboard, and then we don't have to do that after. There. Chickering again. Here's the pin block ends that go over the pin block, and we had to chop them out to get that plate out. And here's a piece of chestnut salvaged from old junk pianos, and oh, it is beautiful. That is clear chestnut. That's before it got wormy, of course. But you don't see too much of this. Boy, that's a good board. Oh, that's a backboard of an upright, isn't it? Yeah, that was in the back of an upright piano. You can see the finish in these two holes here. So we're going to make these out of it. And that'll be a perfect.
We're going to add on to these.
Yes.
We already have most of it. This will be an excellent piece.